just crossed over the border from Canada, and this is the second little town I've been through. And sure is cute. It's kind of nice being back in Canada. I hear a siren, don't know where it's coming from. I think it's coming from behind me. Anyway, I had 115 Canadian dollars left over from my trip down, so that was pretty nice. So stopped at the first visitor center and bought a little sticker to celebrate my return to Canada. I'm following Highway 97 till I get to Kamloops, and then I switch to Highway 5. So it sounds like a pretty easy, and then 5 joins the Trans-Canada or the Alcan Highway. So sounds like it's going to be pretty easy staying on that route. Lots and lots and lots of wineries. Somewhere along here, there's supposed to be the possibility of flooding, but I couldn't get it clarified where it is, so we'll deal with it when we get there. Well, for once I know where I am. I'm going through Okanagan Falls. Spelled with an A. In Washington, it's, I think, spelled with an O. But anyway, Okanagan Falls. I'm going past all sorts of harvest stalls, fruit and vegetable stalls. But too early in the season, they're all closed up. A place called Raven's Oddities that had some cool metal sculptures. That'd be kind of hard to get back, I guess, unless it would fit on my roof. So, turning to stay on 97. I'll say this, for going on a main route, I think it's hard to get lost. It's so well marked. But I did make a little list of all the small towns I'd be going through, just in case the signs say the town names instead of the route. So, but I was talking to my nephew, and we talked about how, you know, I don't like not having my GPS. It's just very helpful, especially when there's emergencies like the flooding and stuff. It says cannabis, senior and pet friendly. Good to know. But it's a lovely area, but there is, I don't know if you can see the river, but it is not over, I don't know if they call it overflowing the banks, but it is above where the grass grew and the trees grew. But somewhere there's flooding across the highway, so we'll find out, I guess. And sure makes for a pretty country, though. Lots of mountains. Lilac season, so when you go by houses, a lot of them have lilacs in bloom. Very pretty. But anyway, I think we can climb a pass here, but it's pretty low, only like 2,000 feet, so not a significant pass. I did get a road report from my friend Betsy's friend who already drove to Homer and said the roads were clear all the way to Homer when he went through, so let's hope it's true. for me. I am just barely north of Kamloops in British Columbia. It's 83 degrees. It's 5 o'clock. And it is so warm that people are paddleboarding. This is Paul Lake. Paddleboarding and kayaking, and I just saw somebody swimming. So, I don't know what you're experiencing today, but it's pretty beautiful here. Only problem is it said the campground was open online. Unfortunately, there's a gate saying it's not, so I'm in the day use area, and there's about 6 other people who read the same thing I read, and so we're all parked in the day use area with the plan of staying overnight, even though we're not supposed to. I guess somebody could come and unlock the other one, but I talked to someone, not that everybody who's parked here knows what they're doing, but the guy said that he talked to a ranger and they're going to open the campsite, the campground tomorrow morning at 8. So they were off a little bit in their description online, but nonetheless, here I am. I just came from camping at Paul Lake, and among all the fields, I saw this. Well, I'm on Highway 5, Yellowhead Highway 5, comparing to the signs that literally have a yellowhead. We started out at Paul Lake this morning, outside of Kamloops. And the campground, as when I got there, the campground was closed. So there were 4 or 5 people who had expected to camp in the campground and were just parked in the visitors area. I did that too. It was fine. But since they only had one pit toilet and a lot of people, I was very ready to go when the gates were unlocked at 7 a.m. So, well, I'm on 5, and for a while I was stuck with a lot of traffic behind a giant truck carrying a giant tractor. And I kept going by all these beautiful flowering trees, and I finally remembered the name. You may see some as I drive here. But they're called service berries, and they're wild in Alaska too. And you can also buy them and plant them. But they're native to Alaska and apparently native to here. But it sure was pretty. It was a winding road with lots of cars before me and behind me. So I didn't get out the camera, but it sure was pretty. And lots of burned sections. They must have had a big fire here, I guess 2 or 3 years ago, because deciduous trees are growing up, but the evergreens are not. And it was just sad to look at all these bare hillsides with some standing dead trees, but a whole lot fallen over. It looked like a battlefield. Lots of swollen rivers here. They're undercutting banks and trees are falling in, so they're obviously above their normal, well, they're above the riverbed anyway. But man, I see a lot of people fishing. sports fishing along the banks. So lots of water, maybe it means lots of fish. I don't know. So I was debating about going over to Jasper National Park. I went down the other side on Alberta on my trip down, and I just decided no. It's beautiful mountains, but I have this itch to kind of take the shortest route through Canada. Not that it isn't beautiful, but I don't know. That's 400 miles out of my way, and I just decided no. So I'm heading for St. George, and obviously, well, I think it's like 500 miles away, so I won't make it tonight, but that's my direction. My plan is to get to the end of 5, where 5 meets, I think it's the Trans-Canada Highway, which we also call the Alcan. I think I can get to that junction tonight. And there's a provincial park whose name I can't pronounce, but that's where I'm hoping to stay tonight. Hopefully it's unlocked. Although the price of parking in a parking lot was a really good price, like $0. And it was a beautiful lake, Paul Lake, so I will see what I see. It's almost to the junction of 5 and 16, and then St. George is up a ways from on 16. So I'm at the halfway point between where I camped last night and where I'll be headed tomorrow. No provincial parks here, so I'll have to go around hat in hand to all the campgrounds and see if they allow. I call myself a tent camper because when I say I sleep in my car, that usually creates an issue. So I just say I'm a tent camper. But in the States, there's a lot of people who say no when they're private campgrounds, because they consider themselves RV parks. I don't fit into that mold. My friend Pat, though, she said she got some discrimination because she has an older RV. So I think my brother Ward told me he experienced that. So you never know. There's supposed to be a really good Swiss bakery here, according to the milepost. But I'm going to go. IGA doesn't look very big, but I think I'm going to go in the IGA.